So you might have seen the news about a police officer who was recently rehired by a different department after being accused of giving a homeless man a feces sandwich. One place I saw says dog shit, multiple other places say it was just feces he found on the street, so probably dog shit. What you may not have known is that this is not his first excrement-related conflict. Today I'm going to be talking about how and why this is even allowed, and how, in the year 2016, a shit bandit was able to infiltrate the San Antonio Police Department. In 2011, Matthew Luckhurst became a police officer with the San Antonio Police Department. In 2016, a fellow officer of Luckhurst reported he'd been approached by Matthew, who had shown him a piece of feces he had found on the street and put between some bread in the styrofoam takeout container. Luckhurst bragged about how he was going to give said sandwich to a homeless person, which he allegedly did. Now, it's also alleged that the said homeless person who he gave the sandwich to did not consume it and just threw it out. At this point, Matthew was a 5-year veteran who had been assigned bike duty in downtown San Antonio for about a year at this point. Matthew denies the allegations, claiming he gave the sandwich to the person for them to discard, and his lawyer advised him not to comment further. This raises quite a few questions and is a little bit fishy, but something that makes Matthew Luckhurst look even worse is that this wasn't the last time he would be accused of manure-related malfeasance. Only a month later, Luckhurst would defecate in the women's restroom at the San Antonio police station, not flush, and smear his feces on the toilet seat. When Luckhurst was actually accused of doing this, he had already been fired for the shit sandwich incident and brought back in 2019. He would admit to doing the bathroom thing as a prank, but the female officers of San Antonio PD were not very amused. So let's look over things here. Luckhurst admits he gave the homeless man a shit sandwich. He admits to pranking the women in his department by smearing his feces on their toilet, but he denies he gave the shit sandwich to the homeless man for any other reason than to discard it. Let's just piece together some of the facts here. So he definitely came up to this officer who reported him and was bragging about it, since there's no way the reporting officer would just make up the fact that he was going to give a homeless guy a shit sandwich and be right, since Matthew admitted he did give him the sandwich. We know Matthew is guilty of defacing his department's women's restroom with his feces, so really what it sounds like to me is that Matthew is someone who just thinks pranking people with shit is really funny. So what happened with this guy? Well, he was finally fired in 2020 for the women's restroom incident, but not to worry. 3 years later in 2023, our hero was reinstated to the force. He was picked up by the Benavides Police Department in southern Texas and is employed to this day. The police chief there, Andre Hines, claims Matthew Luckhurst met the standards for hire even though he was aware of his prior disciplinary issues. One good thing is that the process in which Matthew was hired is under investigation, but anyway, Chief Hines says that Matthew's reinstatement is an example of the department's commitment to fairness and second chances, which is just insane. Let me start by saying what Chief Hines is saying here is purely to defend a desperate action, at least in my opinion. When I was researching this topic, I found that Matthew is one of only 2 police officers active in the Benavides PD, a county that has over 1,000 residents. If I had to guess, I would say the Benavides PD was just super desperate and Luckhurst was able to take advantage, whether purposely or by luck, no pun intended. I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this justifies things one bit. Unless this guy is some kind of superhero who just gets the urge to prank people with his shit sometimes, I don't think there's any reason this moron should be in a uniform. My guess is, based on the nature of these pranks and the people they were done to, is that Matthew has a huge superiority complex, which is probably the last type of person you should give a badge and a gun. On top of that, it's just so fucking immature. Like, my middle school had a shit bandit. I think everyone's did. Not a fucking police department. People are obviously outraged over this and are making a lot of shit jokes. I haven't seen a ton of quality ones though, so you guys need to do a little better. Anyways, I need to go unwrap my brain with some whiskey and maybe a good old one of them American spirits. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a blessed day.